All right. We give esteem, honor, and praise to the Most High Yahuwah by Hashem Yahushua this day. Come on, young Slim.
Yes, sir. I need you, Dwayne, to get Luke chapter 2.
You got to talk loud. I'm talking to you.
All right, Dwayne, Luke chapter 2, 35. And then I need you to put John. All right, so Luke 2, 35.
Luke 2 and 35, y'all.
Luke 2, 35.
Yea, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of great age and lived with her husband 7 years from her virginity.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at today. In verse 35, it says, yea, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. So what sword, when he's saying that the sword shall pierce through your soul also, what do you think he means by the sword?
Talking about the word.
We're talking about the word. So you know that the Mashiach is going to come with the sword. You know that the Mashiach is the word, right? And he said he's coming to reveal what's in our hearts. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. We don't have a board, but we was going to look at the word heart in the Hebrew and draw it out on the board and look at through scripturally how it all ties in. We don't got a board, but we still going to do it the same way, right? Okay, so go up to read verse 34. Same chapter.
And Simeon bereaved them and said unto Mary his mother, Behold, this child is set for a fall and rising of many in Yasharal, and for a sign which shall be spoken against.
It said this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Yasharal. All right, so I'm going to ask Stan. Stan, what you think it means when it says it's set for the fall and rising? How is the Mashiach the fall and the rising again in Yasharal?
He was despised by his own people, and his own people put him to death, and he rose.
Okay, so Stan said he was despised by his own people, right? So go to 1 Corinthians, we'll go to 1 Corinthians 1, 23. 1 Corinthians 1, 23. And then Dwayne get Romans 14, 13.
1 Corinthians 1 and 23. But we preach Mashiach crucified, unto the Yahudim a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called, both Yahudim and Greeks, Mashiach, the power of Elohim, and the wisdom of Elohim.
Okay, so he says that we preach the Mashiach, which is unto the Yahudim a stumbling block. So you see that this son coming can be for the fall of our nation, or a stumbling block to our nation, or if you believe on his name, it can actually be what? A rise to our nation, right? Go to where we have Romans 14, 13.
Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or occasion a fall in his brother's way. I know and persuaded by the Master Yahushua that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteem anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean.
Okay, so us as brothers in this walk, we are not to put a stumbling block in the way of each other. That's not the exact verse I was looking for, but y'all know the verse where Peter speaks on the Mashiach. He who that believes on the Mashiach is not offended, right? But that he who does not believe, that's a stumbling block to this man. So that's a fall unto that people. But he also can be a rise unto the people if you believe on his name. But we also going to look at that sword piercing through your soul to enter into your heart, right? So I need my brother Majin or Will to go to Genesis. So we in Bereshit. Let's see what chapter I want. 31. All right, so we have Genesis 31. Alright, so hold that. Genesis 31 of Bereshit is how we're going to start off the lesson. Before we go into that, we're going to look exactly what that verse is talking about earlier, about piercing through your souls to reveal what your heart, to reveal the intents of your heart, right? Dwayne, I want you to hit 1 Chronicles 28. So we holding Genesis 31. I'm sorry about apologies. 1 Chronicles 28, verse 9.
And thou, Solomon, my son, know thou the Elohim of thy Abba, serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For he will search all hearts and understand all the imagination of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever.
It says that serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. That word heart and that word mind is actually the same word. The word heart and mind ties in together. Because what's in your heart manifests and perceives into your mind. That's why he say cast off wicked imaginations. Because imagination that's wicked is first, it comes from your heart. It comes from what sits in your heart, your character, right? So right? So he says that serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. The word heart is lev, right? So the first character that is the lamad, which means to teach. The second character that is the bait, or the house, right? So you teach to enter into the house. We must be taught to enter into this house, right? So what you are taught, you must lay it up in your heart so that you may be able to enter into this house, right? So that's what the lev is. But your lev or your house can also be filled with what? Wickedness, right? Wicked imaginations, wicked thoughts, right? So that's what we're going to go into. So as I said, everybody, we was at Bereshit 31, Genesis 31. Let's see what verse we're going to start at.
Yeah, you can do it.
All right. Let's see. Start at verse, we at Bereshit 31. We're going to start at verse 17. Genesis 31, verse 17.
And Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were his father's.
Okay, so this is the scenario. Jacob is in a situation where he has his two wives, he has his children, he served this man, but this man has done him wrong, right? Laban has been getting over on Jacob, right? So this is the time for Laban to take all that's his, Jacob to take all that's his and get up out of this man's house, right? So this situation, but it says that Rachel has stolen the images that were her father's. So what do you think with the images? What do you think images are?
It's God's.
His gods. His deities. So she has stolen away her father's gods or his idols.
His worthlessness.
Right? So check this out. Go to verse 20. Yeah, verse 20.
And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled.
Okay, so it says Jacob stole away unawares. So it says Rachel stole or took away his images, and Jacob took Laban's what? Unawares. What do y'all think that word unawares may be? So the word we just looked at and going over is lev, or heart, right? So it says Jacob took what was in Laban's heart. So what was in Laban's heart was what? His images, or his idol gods, or his deities. See, what's in your heart can either be, like I said, wicked, or it can be what? Full of what? Righteousness. And what's laid up in your heart. That's why the Mashiach had to come to reveal what's in the hearts of all men, right? So in this situation, Jacob had stole, he said he stole his unawares, but in the Hebrew that's lev, he stole his heart, right? So we're going to pause real quick, and we're going to look at all the definitions that the word heart can be in the Hebrew. So lev, it can be the inner man, your mind, your will, your heart, your soul, your memory. Here you go. Your determination, your character, your seat of emotions or seat of passions. So everything in your heart determines your character, meaning that what comes out of your mouth and what you say on a daily basis is going to be what comes out of your heart. Your works, what you do, is showing where your heart is. What you believe is showing where your heart is. The people that you may put high in your life that you don't need to put in your life, that's like storing an idol up in your heart. All of these things is ways that you can, we must have a pure heart to step before the Mashiach. That's why last week we was going over that. Purifying your heart, or washing the inwards of the legs of the animal, of an offering. The inwards must be washed because our hearts must be what? Cleansed. Because our heart has the ability to attach to things that it doesn't need because it's what? It's flesh, right? So 21, verse 21.
So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told to Laban on the third day that Jacob had fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him at Mount Gilead. And Elohim came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brother pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captive taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, and with tabret, and with harp?
So now Laban coming at a whole other angle. Now that what was in his heart was stole, he's coming at Jacob, what? In compassion, in a sense. Why have you done this? Why didn't you allow me to send away our daughters with praise and mirth and sang and songs? Why did you just run out and took what was mine? Right? Now he coming good. But if another time we'll go back and look at this story, Laban had been getting over on Jacob the whole time. The whole time. Now he in a sense where he's going to come at a light heart because what he took what was in his heart. Right? Now keep going. What verse we was at? We had 28.
Now we're at Genesis 31, verse 28. And have not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the Elohim of your father spoke unto me yesternight.
Right there. So he said the Elohim of who father? Of your father. So Laban is announcing that he doesn't serve the same Elohim that who Jacob served. We know that because of one, he has images. He has idol gods he's already worshiping, right? So you keep going.
But the Elohim of your father spoke unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now though thou would have needs be gone, because thou so longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my Elohim?
Alright, so that's where we at. He has these gods stolen, right? So now Jacob at a point, okay, I'm caught. I do have these gods. We're going to see what goes down.
And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me, with whomsoever thou findest thy Elohim. Let him not live, before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it for thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen it.
Alright, so Jacob saying, hey, if you find anything of your idol gods in my tent, you can kill me or let me. You know what I'm saying? I can die about this. Go ahead and look and see, right?
Whoever got it.
Whoever got it. So, but he didn't know Rachel had stolen, but it said Jacob had took away what? Unawares, or took away what was in the heart of Laban, right? Keep going. Verse 33.
Genesis 31, verse 33. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the tent of the two maid servants, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said unto her father, let it not displease my master that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched but found not the images.
Okay, so you know according to the law, she must sit in that position because anything she sit upon is unclean. Because she's on the period of purification for a woman, right? So she said, hey, I'm on that right now. That's why I'm sitting here. But he had not known that she had slipped the images underneath her skirt and she's sitting on it, right?
It's kind of interesting since I cannot rise because it's the time of a woman to kind of show the weakness of the God as well.
And,
As far as like what her saying, I cannot rise, it's kind of like a God like I cannot rise, like I can't do anything, I can't make myself.
like this guy, not
Exactly.
okay. Like you've been saying that guy has no power.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying. This is how I wanted y'all to look at this situation. Sin, what was the sin in this situation? The idol God, right? The images. So sin was what? Stolen. Sin was
Stolen
taken.
from Laban.
And then after the sin was taken, it was what?
Rest upon, or sat upon.
It was hid. So that when Laban tried to come and find the sin, where was it? It wasn't found. Right? So sin was bound up and took, and then it was hid, and then when it was going to get found, it wasn't found. Right? So Dwayne, go to Hosea chapter 13. So we at Hosea 13, verse 11.
I gave thee a king in my anger and took him away in my wrath. The iniquity of Ephraim is bound up and his sin is hid.
The iniquity of Ephraim is bound up, and his sin is what? Is hid. Right? So Jacob took the iniquity of Laban, or his unawares that was in his heart, or his images, and he bound them up. And then he what? And he hid them. Right? Verse 13.
The sorrows of a travailing woman shall come upon him. He is an unwise son, for he shall not stay long in the place of the breaking forth of children.
It's okay, so the sorrows of a travailing woman shall come upon him. When it says that the sin of Ephraim is bound up, who is Ephraim?
That woman in the house. One in the house.
One of the house. So you got the house of Israel, which is Ephraim. You got the house of Yehuda, which is the southern kingdom, right? So it says that the sin of Ephraim is bound up.
House of Israel.
So where did our sin fall? Who did it fall upon?
The son.
The son, right? What happened to him? He was what? He was bound up. So if it's saying that the sin was hid, that means that the sin was what? Covered. Right? So that means if someone try to come and look and search for that sin, they can't find it. They're going to look for your sin. You did this, you did that. But where the sin going to be at? It's going to be what? Hid and covered because of the blood of what? The Mashiach. So that sin is no what? The sin is blotted out, right? But it says that the sorrows of a what? It says the sorrows of a travailing woman shall come upon him. And it says that he should not stay long in the place of the breaking forth of children. Right? What you think that means?
When Mashiach died, when he gave birth, he wasn't there long.
Okay. Right on the head. It's simple. It's very simple. After Mashiach died and blood and water came out of his side, he wasn't there long in the place of breaking forth for children. But he had to endure that sorrow and affliction so that our sin can be bound up in what? Hid and covered. So Jacob went in and stole the unawares what was in the hearts of the people. So Luke chapter 2, he shall come with a sword and reveal the intents of our what? Of our heart. You either going to give up what's in your heart to him so that he can hide it and put it away and cover it, or you can go ahead and keep it and get that sword later, right? So go back to, we back at Bereshit 31, Genesis 31. And we're going to go to, what verse you was at? What verse you left off on, Will?
We stopped at 34,
All right, we can start at 34.
35. And she said to her father, let it not displease my master that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of the women is upon me. And he searched but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth and chose with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brother and thy brother, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of the breast I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require of it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night.
All right, so right here, basically, they come into a peace agreement at this point. Laban went in the tent, he didn't find nothing, right? So now they finna come to an agreement, because he said if he finds something, it's gonna be something. He didn't find it, so let's go down to verse 44.
Bereshit, or Genesis 31, verse 44. Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar.
All right, so he took a stone and he set it up for a pillar.
And Jacob said unto his brother, gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap, and they did eat there upon the heap.
All right, so they took the stones and they made a heap, and what they call it?
They called it Jagar Shadar Datha, but Jacob called it Galid. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galid.
Okay, so we just went, Laban's unawares of what was in his heart had got stolen, right? And then it was hid. After it was hid, a covenant was made, right? So that's what you're looking at. The covenant was made of a heap of witness. So let's go to, Dwayne, go to Joshua chapter 8, 29. We'll go to 2 Samuel 18, 17.
And the king of Ai he hanged on a tree until eventide. As soon as the sun was down, Yahushua commanded that they should take his carcass down from the tree and cast it at the entering of the gate of the city, and raise thereon a great heap of stones that remain unto this day. Then Yahushua built an altar unto Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharal at Mount Abal, as Moses the servant of Yahuwah commanded the children of Yasharal. It is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, an altar of whole stones, over which no man hath lifted up any iron, and they offer thereon burnt offerings unto Yahuwah and sacrifice peace offerings.
Alright, so let's read that again. It says that, and the king hanged on a tree until evening time, right? So the Mashiach didn't stay long in the place of what? Bringing forth children, right? So then it says that, and as the sun was down, Yahushua commanded they should take his carcass down from the tree and cast it at the entering of the gate, and raise a great heap of stones that remain unto this day. So when the stones remain unto this day, that's a witness. That's a covenant. That's telling you that that's something that's going to sit. You always going to remember that. That's a memorial, right? Just like Jacob, he took that with Laban and made a heap of a covenant. Right here, same thing, right? Go to, where you at?
I'm at 2 Samuel 18.
All right, so we done 2 Samuel 18. And we at verse 17.
2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 17. And they took Absalom and did cast him into a great pit in the woods, and laid a very great heap of stones upon him. And all of Yasharal fled, everyone to his tent.
Okay, so when they took Absalom, they laid a great heap upon him, right? So Dwayne, you had Matthew 27, 59.
taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth. And he laid it in his own new tomb, which he hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed.
All right. So you seeing the same thing with the master. They put that great stone or that heap over his body as a memorial of what just happened of a covenant, right? So we're going to continue on. We're going to look at it differently in the heart. Because in this instance, we were looking at it, hearts, or idols being stored up into a man's heart and being taken away. But there's other ways that you can manifest what's in your heart, right? So we're going to go to, we're still in Bereshit or Genesis. We're just going to go to chapter 34. Bereshit or Genesis chapter 34. Verse 3.
Genesis 34 and verse 3. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel. And he spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife.
All right. It say his soul clave unto Dinah. So Dinah is the daughter of Jacob, right? And you got this king of Shechem, a Canaanite, right? And it say he spoke kindly. The word we were looking at is lev, right? It's heart. So that word kindly, what do you think that word is? Heart. So when this king of Shechem spoke to Dinah, he spoke out of his what? Out of his heart. Now we all know what this man went to go ahead and do. For those who didn't, let's go and keep reading. We have verse 5.
Genesis 34, verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now the sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they came. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Yasharal, in line with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done.
It says Laban wrought folly in Yasharal, right? He wrought folly in Yasharal because he what? He defiled his daughter, right? So when he came with her, he spoke kindly. When he spoke kindly to her, he was speaking out of his heart. But he showed the intent of his heart was what? Wicked. Because you just defiled this woman. But he spoke kindly, right? Go to Matthew, Dwayne, chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. And then you get Proverbs 7:21.
O generation of vipers, how can ye being evil speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bring forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bring forth evil things. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
In the day of judgment. So, O generation of vipers, how can you be evil and speak good things? So he showed the intent his heart was what? Evil. So though he was speaking kindly, oh, I want her. Oh, I want to marry her. How you speaking good things when you did something that was what? Evil, and you went and what? Defiled this woman. You showed what was intense in your what? Your heart, right? And it says a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bring forth what? Good things. And an evil man out of the evil treasure in his heart bring forth evil things. So you can sit around somebody and literally listen and see the way they move and the way they operate, where their heart really is. That shouldn't be a big question. Oh, you think they're really going to do this? And that's why, you know, when we have those conversations about, oh, is someone really going to do this or not?
I ain't been wrong.
The way that we actually looking at it, we're judging off of what's being shown or the fruits of this person. You're looking at the intent of their heart. A person gonna say it, but you may not even be listening at that time. And then next thing you know, something will happen, and then later on you're like, oh, they did say that. I remember they did say that. Yeah, they showing you what their heart already was. It's that you're not really paying attention. That's why he say, oh, generation of vipers, how can you sit here and talk about good things when your heart is truly evil? You putting on, right? So look, we had Proverbs 7:21.
Proverbs 7, verse 21. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
Okay, so look, in this situation with Dinah, who had the fair speech? The king of Shechem. So the woman that had a fair speech in this situation, the king of Shechem did. But it caused her to what? To yield. Keep going. What? Read it again.
It said, with her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced or seduced him.
So with the flattering of his mouth or his lips, Dinah got what? Seduced. And what? Defiled. Because he spoke flattery. Oh man, I want to marry her. She's beautiful. But he what? Ended up brought folly in Israel. We know what happened after that. Who went stand on the spot? Who went and killed Shechem and the boys after he defiled them? Two brothers.
Levi and
Simeon. So we know after this situation that Levi and Simeon went and did recompense on them, right? Okay.
And then did Jacob tell them not to do it? And they did it.
Yeah, the instruction was not to do it, but anyway, they still went ahead and did. Jeremiah 9:8, Dwayne.
But that made a good point, because they defiled.
Psalms 55:21.
Their tongue is as an arrow shot out, it speak deceit. One speak peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he lay in his wait.
Okay, so one speak peaceably unto his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart he lay and he what? He waiting. Oh yeah, bro, what's up? Shalom, Ack. Hey, shalom, Ack. 2 weeks later, ain't no such thing as no faith. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't rock with them boys like that. Oh, I ain't with all the people boys. I'm on my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Just use that as an example. You see what I'm saying? You come and you speak flattery, but in your heart, deep down, you know you putting on. You know this is not something you really want to do. Right? What I got you at Psalms what? Psalms 55 and 21.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. The words were softer than oil, yet they draw swords.
So the words of his mouth was smoother than butter. But what was in his heart?
War was in his heart.
War was in his heart. Who is that?
Judas.
Judas. So that's Matthew 26:47. Dwayne.
And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came with the great multitude with swords and staves for the chief priests and the elders of the people.
Okay, so he coming. You know, Judas coming what? Hey, master. But he coming with what? Swords and staves, right? So war was in his heart, but he coming smooth as butter. Master, and gave him a kiss, right? Same situation. Let's go to, we're going to look at it differently. Because right here, when Shechem, it said that he spoke kindly to Dinah, right? It's another situation. Go to Bereshit again, Genesis chapter 50. Verse 20.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but Elohim meant it unto good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them and spake kindly unto them. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years.
All right, so Joseph was about to die. And what did he end up telling the children? He says that I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them and he spake kindly unto them, right? So he says, one, I'm going to nourish you, I'm going to nourish your children, and he spoke kindly unto them. Same word when he's speaking kindly, out of his heart. When Joseph is coming and speaking out of his heart, we know this is a righteous man, this individual. So when he's speaking the intents of his heart, it's bringing what? Righteousness and blessings, right? But if a wicked man speaking the intents of his heart, it's bringing what? War and destruction. But the same word is used. Shechem spoke kindly, but what was in his heart? Wickedness. Joseph speaking kindly, but he said he gonna what? Nourish you, your children. And he says that what? And I'm gonna speak kindly to him. So we're gonna go to Hosea chapter 2. Hosea chapter 2. See what verse we start. 9. No. Yeah, Hosea 2 and 9. You're going to start at 9.
Therefore I will return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, giving to cover her nakedness. And now I will discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none deliver her out of my hand. I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, her Shabbats, and all her solemn feasts. And I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, where she has said, these are my rewards that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And I will visit upon her the days of Balaam, wherein she burnt incense to them. She decked herself with her earrings and her jewels. She went after her lovers and forgat me, saith Yahuwah. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her.
He said, therefore, behold, I will allure her into the wilderness and what? Speak comfortably unto her. What y'all think that word comfortably is in the Hebrew? Heart. Same word. So he said, I'm going to bring them into the wilderness, and I shall speak out of my what? Out of my heart unto them. Just like Joseph, what? He spoke kindly, same word, he spoke out of his heart. I will nourish you, right? So the master, the father saying right here, I'm speaking out of my heart. And what he going to do? Go to verse 15.
I will give her vineyard from thence in the valley of Acre for a door of hope. She shall sing there as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up out of the land of Mizraim. And it shall be at that day, saith Yahuwah, thou shalt call me Ishi, and shalt call me no more Balaam.
And I will take away the names of Baal out of her mouth, and shall no more be remembered by their name. Right? So he says he taking away the balls out of our mouth. That means he's removing what? Idols out of our what? Out of our heart. He's taking them and he gonna what? He gonna hide them. And he said he's speaking comfortably us. If he's putting us in a vineyard, that's nourishing us, right? He's placing us in a position where he can nourish us. We know that he said, I am the bread of heaven. So he came down to nourish us in the what? Speak comfortably to us. Out of the intents of what? His heart. So I'm showing you on one end, speaking out of the intents of the heart, it come with flattery, it sound good, but the intentions are what? Wicked. But on the other end of it being the same way, it's soft and it sounds good, but in the latter end, it is good. You're seeing the fruit thereof, right?
And that's how when the master said in Matthew 11, he said, I'm gentle and lowly in heart.
I'm gentle and lowly of heart, right? And he said, cast your burdens upon me, right? We must be the same way. We must take away what's in our heart. When you take away what's in your heart, you become low. How you know that? Because when Jacob took away what was in Laban's heart, he became real what? Low. Hey man, you ain't have to run off on me like that, man. See what I'm saying? If you take away what's in your heart now, you become real low before the Mashiach said. You suffer affliction as is he suffered affliction, right? Right? So where we gonna go? Go to the last one. We're gonna look at Exodus 14. Dwayne had touched this last night, and I saw something I just wanted to go over with it. So Shamu, Exodus 14, we're going to start at the top.
Exodus 14. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Yasharal, that they turn and encamp before Pi-Hahiroth, between Migdal and the sea, over against Baal-Zephon.
All right, so I had went over this, I think a year or two ago with Will, Stan, and Corey. And we looked at this a certain way. And because of what you were saying last night, I wanted to bring it out again because it came to mind. So what we paying attention to, what he just read is where they're encamping at. Let me get to the chapter. So they're encamping, it says, he spoke to the children of Yasharal to encamp before Pi-Hahiroth, between Migdal, right, and the sea over against Baal-Zephon. So look at the setting. Yahuwah just put plagues on Egypt, on the Egyptians, right? On a later note, we can go in and show how each one of those plagues was designated to a specific deity of the Egyptians, and how he was attacking and destroying all their gods before their face, and proving that he was a true Elohim, right? We can go in and show that. But in this situation, they're coming out of Egypt, right? Last night when he read, he said, stand back and watch my what? Salvation work. If you look, when they encamping there, it say before Migdal and Baal-Zephon. If y'all go home and do your own research, Migdal was a high battle tower for all the gods in Egypt. All of their gods were said to reside at Migdol. All the gods in Egypt, right? Baal Zephon, if you look up Baal Zephon, is one of the oldest deities known. Is one of the deities that was worshipped during this time. So Yahuwah told the children of Israel to encamp before Migdol and Baal Zephon. Two idolatrous towers, two idolatrous places. Stand right here, because I want them to watch all of this. That's why Dwayne be going so hard about bashing idols and stuff like that, because Yahuwah, that's what Yahuwah does. So Yahuwah telling them to stand right here before their gods and stand back and what? Watch my salvation, right? So keep going. Now we at verse 3.
Exodus 14, verse 3. For Pharaoh will say to the children of Yasharal, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am Yahuwah. And they did so.
So he said, I will harden Pharaoh's heart. He said he has to harden Pharaoh's heart. In this instance, this is why he has to harden Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh's son just got what? Killed. And Pharaoh said, hey, y'all can slide. Let him go. So his heart was what? Exposed. He said, let him go. But Yahuwah had to come back and what? Harden his heart again so that they may see how really true he is. He gonna keep showing it. He gonna keep showing it, right? So keep going. We at verse 5.
And it was told to the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Yasharal go from serving us? And he made ready his chariots and took his people with him.
All right, go down to verse 9.
Verse 9. But the Egyptians pursued after them, and all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army overtook them by encamping by the sea, besides Pi-hahiroth, between Baal Zephon.
Now he got him right where he wanted him at now, right? He said, now the Egyptians pursuing, and he got him at Pi-hahiroth and Baal Zephon. And he gonna stop him right there. Because this where y'all do all your worship at. Migdol, Pi-hahiroth, and Baal Zephon, which is the oldest deity of that time, right? Now watch this. Verse 10.
And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Yasharal lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were sore afraid, and the children of Yasharal cried out unto Yahuwah. And they said unto Moses, because there was no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt?
So now, who's speaking out of the intents of their heart? The people who has unbelief. So out of the intents of their heart, they saying, you brought us out here to die, right? So they had seen everything that Pharaoh had seen. Pharaoh even believed and let us go at that point. So you in that same position, you see everything Yahuwah did, and you still don't believe he can deliver you from this next situation. So your heart has been what? Hardened as well, along with what? Pharaoh's, right? We're going to continue. Verse 12.
Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of Yahuwah.
So he said, fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of who? Yahuwah. Where he said it was at? Pi-hahiroth and Baal Zephon. So he said he gonna deliver them in front of their gods. I'm gonna kill them in front of all their gods, and you gonna see it. And they shall know that I am Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yasharal, and all those who hear me gonna fear me, and they shall what? Bow down. They're gonna want to what? Worship me. That's why when Moses first came to Pharaoh, he says that, hey, Yahuwah said, let my people go. He said, I don't know Yahuwah. Ain't that what he said? He said, I don't know who Yahuwah is. I don't know who Yahuwah is to let y'all go. So what Yahuwah had to come do? Well, I'm going to show you who I am. And then after I show you who I am, I'm going to kill you in front of who y'all worship. Your gods, your idols. Destroy them. That's why he's going so hard about it, and that's why our heart must be the same way and have the same mind towards idols. We know that Yahuwah is the true Elohim. We know that. If you know that, then anything's crashed. That's how he feel the same way, right? So that's basically what I wanted to go over. It was two more verses I wanted to hit too. Proverbs 4:23. And then Proverbs 3:3.
Hey, hush it up.
Proverbs 4:23 and Proverbs 3:3.
Proverbs 4:23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee the forward mouth and perverse lips. Put far from thee.
All right, so he says, keep your heart with all diligence. So that's the basis of this lesson, is to keep your heart, or hold down your heart, or what? Guard your heart with that breastplate. Our hearts must be guarded because anything can enter in, right? 3:3.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck and write them upon the table of thine heart.
Write this upon the tables of your heart, so nothing can forsake you. All praise to you by way of Yahushua.
Praise God, praise God.